Bay Area cities continue to try and find ways to get people into downtowns that are still struggling to recover during the daytime. The permanence of hybrid work is really a major issue, but at night, a change for the better that maybe you've picked up on as well. Yesterday, we showed you it's still quiet during the workday on weekdays in downtown San Francisco, but at night, a lot of restaurants and bars are seeing solid foot traffic, and cell phone data backs those two separate realities up. So this morning, we're giving you a live look at downtown Oakland. That's where we're headed right now. Like San Francisco, Oakland is still a shell of its pre-pandemic self during the daytime in the week. While it's getting busier, there still is an absence of people who work there during the Monday to Friday working hours. However, a different picture of Oakland's recovery unveils itself in the evening that shows some promise for the town. But it comes with some big ifs. With another day of work at her Oakland office complete, Monique Rands is headed home to San Francisco.
Yeah, I've worked downtown almost 2 years now.
Like many people who work downtown, she's a hybrid worker and makes the commute a few times a week.
We're in Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and then work from home Mondays and Fridays.
Her office attendance has recently increased, up from 2 days to 3 days a week.
It's still not the most bustling downtown I've seen as far as cities go, but it seems to be getting a little livelier.
But it's still pretty slow downtown. With hybrid work the norm, there is still an absence of people during the day that once kept the town busy.
There's a few restaurants that have closed since I've worked here, yeah. So it does seem like things are not the best for businesses nearby.
By using cell phone data to get a complete picture of downtown population patterns now versus pre-pandemic numbers rather than just office vacancy rates, the University of Toronto's School of Cities has been tracking downtown recovery rates for several years. Of the cities they track, Oakland's downtown is on the slower side when it comes to recovery during the Monday to Friday working hours of 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's at about 63% of pre-pandemic levels during the day. But per the cell phone data, downtown activity jumps at night, hovering around 100% of pre-pandemic levels.
We have 21 on the books today.
There must be a show. We want to check on that, the Fox.
Which is why Chef Nelson German and his team game planned for what would be a busy night at his restaurant, Sobre Mesa, which as of lately has started to become the norm again.
Let's do it up. It's a lot of positive energy in Oakland right now, so let's keep it going. We're coming out of that hole, we're coming out strong, and we're just going to keep on going.
Chef Nelson says he noticed things start to pick up a few months ago.
It's still not perfect, of course. There's still not enough people walking the streets, but there is an uptick slowly. I wish it was happening a lot earlier when other businesses that were amazing were still around.
He believes some of the changes due to investments in making downtown Oakland safer, though he says more does need to be done.
Definitely has helped, especially in this area, having the parking garage that's outside on 19th Street, having a program where it's only $5 at a secured lot after hours. That has made people feel a lot safer. 1 liter lime juice.
The restaurant business is never easy. But during a time when many have either chosen to or had no choice but to leave Oakland, Chef Nelson says he owes it to the town to be a part of its comeback.
As hard as it is, and it's still damn hard, but there's this light at the end of the tunnel. Oakland gave me my dream and made my dreams come true. So I'll always be indebted to the town. And I think that's what keeps me going, because they give me so much, I have to give back.
I feel like it does get a bit of a bad rap.
While she enjoys being in downtown Oakland the days she's in the office, Monique does see how the permanence of hybrid work creates a major challenge for downtowns as they come back, or really come into a new version of themselves.
I think it does make it tougher for cities, with people just commuting in and not staying and frequenting businesses locally as much, aside from work.
So when people are downtown, she hopes they'll think to support local businesses first, so they can help move the town forward. While there is more after-hours activity happening in Oakland, crime really does remain a serious concern for a lot of folks there. Despite his positivity about the town, this surveillance video you're seeing is a break-in that Chef Nelson, who we just heard from, recently dealt with. He recently dealt with. So at his other restaurant, Alamar, multiple times this has happened to him. Monique's employer, by the way, has brought in more security to make people feel safer when they go to and from work, which she thinks has been a good move so far. So when it comes to Oakland's prognosis for downtown recovery, Dr. Karen Chappell with the School of Cities Downtown Recovery Project says Oakland has a unique set of challenges that could impact recovery.
Even though our data showed that it has great after hours activity. I think a lot of that is changing actually in the negative direction. I'm seeing a lot of recent restaurant closures, a lot of store vacancies. I think Oakland's going to need a little bit more of a boost to come back.
But the million-dollar question, exactly where will that boost come from? That's still to be determined. Because, hybrid work, it works for the people, it works for the companies. The places it doesn't really work for are the local businesses that rely on the people who once were there. So I'm curious to see kind of what's going to work and what might not work. But it's nice to know people are trying solutions.
Right. Well, and asking for answers, like we look at San Francisco and what's happening, and we're kind of starting to see like, maybe our world has just changed, and maybe we're not a lunch crowd in the downtown areas anymore. Maybe people do that closer to where they live. And the nightlife conversation is what's fascinating to me. The spikes in the nightlife, that's some juice there.
And it's just two different pictures. Of course, there's so many factors that go into this, but, we've been watching this for years, and I think, it's important that we look at different factors of recovery because it's not as simple as just 9 to 5.
No, it's not anymore. The world has changed.